Hi, welcome. This is Marty Murphy. I read this quote a while back. I saw it on a Facebook post and it said, "Busy is the new fine." And I thought that is so totally true for myself and for most people that I know. How you doing? Oh, I'm busy. I find myself saying that in different emails. Oh, sorry I didn't get back to you. I've been so busy, so busy, so busy, and caught up in the busyness. And today is a day during the week that I have a rare day off other than one client that I'm meeting with. And I noticed I took a long walk this morning with my dogs. We hiked up in the foothills and we have a new puppy, and just taking my time with that and taking it all in. And even stopping and allowing myself just to feel the breeze and close my eyes and really get in sync with that and feel that feeling. And when I came back, I was home alone, which was nice and quiet. And I started to notice different feelings churning up. And even to right this moment, I can't tell you exactly where those were coming from. But I didn't feel the need to go deeper in it, meaning, I should start analyzing these and find out what they're about or even tap my way through it. I just wanted to allow them to wash over me. And I noticed I had a myriad of feelings that, were from the past and things that had happened and yet they were really good feelings, like waves of good feeling were washing over me. And I thought I just wanted to allow them to be so. And I think about so much synchronicity in the world and in our life. And I literally, when I think about the waves of emotions, that way they come over me. When I think about the waves in the actual ocean, there's such a similarity to them. Sometimes my emotions can be highly turbulent and the seas are really rough in my emotions. And sometimes they are so calm and still, almost as if it doesn't feel like much is going on. And then everything in between those two. And what I notice is when I settle in from the busyness of life, I start to really feel more of what's going on in my inner world. And I think the way our society and our world is set up, it's all about accomplishing, going, doing, succeeding. Nothing wrong with any of that. But the place that I keep coming back to is wanting to get more and more centered in myself, feeling more of what is truly going on for me, allowing the feelings to just wash over me and get in touch with my inner world that way. And I think when you start to really go inward and really pay attention to your inner world, there is so much information there for all of us. And I was working with a client yesterday, and we were talking about this idea that I had really thought of this idea back in my 20s when I was in a 12-step program, where I realized so much of my life I was spent trying to bring things into me, like more knowledge, more information, bring more into me. And the truth of the matter is, when I was reading books or watching a program or listening to a speaker, what I think more was really going on was the uncovering of the overlay of limiting beliefs and blocks that have just been blocking who I truly am. And you've probably heard this analogy many times before. When there's a cloudy day and a rainy day, it doesn't mean that the sun is still not up there behind the clouds. You just can't see it because the covering of the clouds is in the way. To me, it is no different with our emotional makeup. When we start to release limiting beliefs and uncover and peel back those layers of emotions and limiting thoughts that have really blocked us, we start to remember who we really are internally, and that we truly are our own best expert, that we have our own wise counsel, and we can help ourselves. And it is not to say that all of us don't need a helping hand. I absolutely agree and believe that we do. I get coached all the time, and I will continue to, because I feel like it's just a way to keep me on the path that I'm on. So when I start to remove myself from the busyness of life, I go inward more and I find out more of my internal true makeup. And that's the place I want to get more and more in touch with. Other than what I consider for me, the yang energy that I personally am so good at, getting it done, doing, okay, I'll give it to me, I'll get it done, I'll take care of it, I'll handle this, I'll do it. All the ways I stay busy and stay very distracted from my internal world. So my challenge to you would be to, even if it's take 5 or 10 minutes, and go find a place to sit quietly by yourself. If you're in a situation where you could actually go outside and do it, depending on the weather, all the better. If you can't, just find a quiet spot and just go get quiet and pay attention. Just notice as much as you can what's going on. Like the thoughts, just allow for the thoughts to swing by and notice what they are, and do your best to remove any kind of judgment. The likelihood that you have a lot of judgment around your thoughts is pretty strong, but just pay attention to even that. Just heighten your awareness to, wow, I'm really judging myself. And just try that as an exercise and see how that feels for you. And just take that first little step to go more internal than external. And with all that said, I just want to do a short tapping around here. So, karate chop. Even though I see how busy I am, I have a busy schedule and a busy life. But when do I make time for myself? I'm not so sure I do. I choose to love and accept myself anyway. Even though it's true, busy is the new fine for me, I'd like to take even the littlest step back from that. I acknowledge myself and my feelings now. Even though busy is definitely my new fine, I'm really good at keeping busy. But I'd kind of like to take a step back from that. To get quiet, even for a few moments, and check out what's going on inside of me. I acknowledge myself and my feelings now. I am so busy. I'm really good at the doing. I'll keep myself nice and busy. But when do I attend to me? When do I make time for me? The most important person in my life. What about giving myself just a couple minutes of me time to get quiet, to go inward, to notice the breeze upon my face, to notice my inner world, and notice what my body's telling me. I've got the busy part down. No problem. But what about setting aside a few minutes for me? The most important person in my life. Because when I stay so busy, I actually abandon myself from giving to myself. And by beginning to give to myself, the best of myself to me, when I do that first, I can begin to give the best to others. Take a breath and check in with yourself and see how that feels, and notice the mind chatter like, oh, you can't do that. You don't have time. What are you kidding? Look how busy you are. Look at that schedule. And that idea of go slow to go fast came to me years ago, and I've not been that great at practicing it, but I notice more and more it is such a desire and such a continual longing in me to go inward, to get quieter. It's a practice. It is absolutely a practice because I've got the busy, I'll do it, I'll handle it, get it thing down. So my challenge to you this week is to just give yourself the gift of a couple minutes and just go quiet, go inward, and just see what's going on there, and just notice. And notice the thoughts, notice the judgment, and notice all of that. It's just a step in the right direction to start to pay attention to you internally, and you are your own best expert. So next time somebody asks you how you are, you catch yourself saying, oh, busy. If you do that, just notice, oh, it's a good indication. It's time for me to take a little more time for me. Take good care. Thanks a lot for being here, and I'll see you on the next video.